In this video, I'm going to teach you how to make any object glow in Photoshop. It's really easy, but this is what it's going to end up looking like. And this is the original image. So it's pretty cool, and it doesn't take long, maybe 5 to 10 minutes tops. So I'm using this image from Unsplash again. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to follow along. So first we want to duplicate the background, Control or Command J, just like I always do. Now we want to separate the subject from the background. I've got another video on how to do this in more detail, which I'll link somewhere on the screen. But in the meantime, I'll just try and do a quick cutout. So select subject. That looks pretty close. Jump into the select and mask, refine edge. This isn't going to be perfect because I'm rushing through to get to the main bit. But it's doing a really good job. Almost there. And we'll output this to a new layer. Perfect. So to make this stand out a bit more, we want to darken the background layer. So select that background layer, mine's layer 1. Go down here to add an adjustment layer. We'll just grab a curves. Make sure you clip it to the bottom layer with this little button here. And just click in the middle of this, this chart and drag down. So it just drags the midtones down. So you can see how it makes the subject separate a bit more. That'll do for now. Okay, now what we want to do is, for this image, we'll just make the horns glow. So select the subject you cut out, grab your quick selection tool, just try and grab the horns. Remove this hair here. That's good enough. Control or Command J to put that in its own layer. Now what you'd want to do is go Control or Command G to create a group, and that'll automatically group whatever layer was selected. So in this case, it's the horn. So you're going to click this layer, right click, convert to smart object. That's just so you can add filters that are adjustable. Just so you don't have to delete it and start again. Then what we want to do is change the blend mode to linear dodge add. Great. So now what you want to do is go Command J on this layer. Go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Don't know how to properly pronounce it, but I think it's Gaussian. Don't know. We'll start with 5 pixels. Go OK. Then we're just going to repeat this a few times. Control Command J of that layer. Double click where it says Gaussian blur. We'll open this little box again. Change it from 5 pixels to 100 pixels. Do it again. Control Command J. Gaussian blur. Make it 250. One more time. Control Command J. Adjust the blur to 500. You can see that it's already looking a bit glowy, which is what we want. Now, if you click the group, you'll want to go to an adjustment layer, hue saturation layer. For some reason that put that underneath. We don't want that. Just drag it above. There we go. Make sure it's clipped to the group, just so it affects all the blurry, glowy layers. Make sure to check colorize. And now you can adjust the saturation and color however you like. From memory, the color I like is 38 for this one. Then we'll increase the saturation just so it's quite strong. Maybe make it a bit darker. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Now to make it look even better, go down to the layer of just the subject, so not the horns, just this layer here. Add another adjustment layer, make a curves layer, and we'll darken this as well. Just helps to make the glow stand out a bit more. So we'll say around that. Maybe a bit much. There we go. And make sure it's clipped to that layer. Almost forgot that. There we go. Actually, a bit darker. There we go. Now select the layer mask that's attached to the adjustment layer and go into your brush or hit B. So you can click the brush here or just hit B on your keyboard. Make sure that your foreground color is set to black. So it will by default be white or black. At this point it's white. So if you just hit X, it'll switch to black, which means it's removing parts of that layer just so it's not affected. So if we increase our brush size, I'll make flow maybe 10. We'll just work to remove the areas around where the glow is happening. So it's a bit more realistic. Looks pretty good. We can test it. Yep, looks good. And now just to make it a little bit more realistic, we want to add the color cast from the glow onto the cow. So to make sure you get the exact same color, just click the hue saturation layer that you use for the glow, Control Command J. It's gonna look a bit weird, but that's okay. Click and drag that layer down to above the adjustment layer we're just playing with, that curves layer. Clip it to the one below, so you can just hit Option and then click. You'll see it turns into this little, I'm not sure what you call that, little symbol. Then you click, and that means it clips it to the bottom layer. Click the layer mask, hit Control or Command I to invert it, just so it's not affecting everything. Now go back to your brush, so hit B. Go to a white brush, so you're painting in the color. So I've had to hit X to make it white. Lower your flow to maybe 4%, just so you can do something quite gradual. And then just paint in where you think makes sense. Like, where's the glow coming from? All good if you paint too much, because you can just adjust the opacity to make it look a little bit more real. Just want something subtle. Make it a bit stronger near where the light source is. That looks alright. And yeah, that was pretty easy. So to make it look that little bit better, I went onto Adobe Stock and downloaded a sparkle overlay. So, let me just go back here, drag it on. And just in case you don't know, any image that looks sort of like this, where it's all black background, but you only want the colored elements, change the blend mode to screen, and it just removes it. So if we position this near the glowy horn area, that looks good. Control Command J, Command J to duplicate it. Flip it horizontally to make it look the same on the other side. And there you go. So we went from this to this. Didn't take long at all, and you can do this with any image, just play around with it. You can also create an action, which if I can figure out how to export it, I'll have a link in the description to download the action that does it for you. So I'll just quickly show you how that would look. Okay, so select the part you want. Like that. We won't be exact because I'm just showing you an example of how to use the action. Put it into a group, click it, then all you have to do is go into Actions. If you can't see it, just go into Windows, make sure Actions is ticked. Then you'd hit Glow Effect and just hit Play. And it'll automatically create your duplicate layers with the blur and the filter. For some reason it puts the filter within the group, so you just drag that outside of the group. Clip it, and then double click to change whatever color you want. Yeah, so it's pretty easy. Have fun with it. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you liked it, like, comment, subscribe, all of that. Really appreciate it. And yeah, just let me know what you want to see next. Thanks.